And I know it can be a big jump from the world of lectures, pot noodles, student nights out on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
to the 9 to 5 of a job. If I was a recent graduate, what tips would you offer to assist in the transition from university to work?
There's a number of things. I think the first thing is to take a step back. It's very tempting as a brand new graduate, because you're feeling under pressure to go out and get a job and capitalize on that degree and leap into something. If you haven't done the groundwork, and if you haven't done some of the soul searching and thinking about who you are, what you want, and what kind of environment you want, and what would suit you, you can fall foul of jumping into something and then jumping into something else and then to jumping into something else. And then before you know it, after a few years, you've been bouncing around the job market rather aimlessly. So for me, it's take a step back and think about how you want to present yourself to the marketplace. So kind of at the heart of it is knowing yourself well enough, but equally understanding how the world sees you and how you want to present that to the world, and to shape that yourself. And that takes a bit of planning and a bit of strategy, etc. And so I often say to people, forget the 5-year plan. Think about the next 6 months. How are you going to position yourself in employers' minds? What do you want them to see? And focusing on the best of you, what you want to offer to employers. So that's my starting point, is to not dive into firing out CVs left, right and centre, because you'll be disappointed. It's more about being targeted and clear, and having a clear plan and strategy about how you want to present yourself.
No, I agree, and I think that's one of the problems that students have when they graduate, is there's so many opportunities out there, and it's difficult then to narrow down exactly the right way to go with their first career choice. Are there any exercises that you would recommend to help people to narrow down that choice and to make the right decision the first time?
Exercises, maybe I describe it in a slightly different way. What people, many young people struggle with is having a clear view about themselves, often because they've never asked the question. So for me, feedback is one of the most important things that students and graduates coming out of university could do. Just getting a sense of the people that know them best, and people they've worked with, and lecturers and tutors and friends, etc., to give them feedback on what they're good at, what they're like when they're at their best, what their particular talents are, what they're good at, etc. Because we sometimes look at ourselves and can be quite self-deprecating or a bit shy about talking up our positives, etc. So getting feedback for me is a starting point. And then using that feedback to shape the messaging and communication and personal brand you want to put across.
And how important would you say mindset is in this reflective period?
I think this is more important than people tend to think. So if you think about all the competition you've got out there for jobs amongst graduates, lots and lots of graduates with similar qualifications, maybe in the same sector, in the same areas, etc., of subject matter. The thing that's going to differentiate them is quite often going to be their attitude rather than the skills or qualifications they've got. Quite often recruiters will take the approach of hiring for attitude and then training the individual for the skills once they've got them inside the organisation. If you've got the wrong person inside the organisation who's got a first-class degree but can't get on with people, they're not going to last long. So it's much more important that you have the right attitude, right professionalism that employers are seeking, and not worry so much about the qualification side of things, because the marketplace is changing. Increasingly, employers are saying, it's not the first thing we look at is the degree. What we're looking at is well-rounded, well-grounded individuals who've had got a bit of life experience, and that could be, a range of things from what you do in your holidays, work experience you've done in part-time jobs, volunteering, places you've been, stuff that you've done off your own back, that demonstrate that you're prepared to roll your sleeves up and have a good work ethic.
No, agreed. And as you mentioned in your most recent blog, companies such as Grant Thornton and Evershed who are actually removing the criteria for a specific degree class and are more open to students who might have got lower grades but have a more rounded potential.
I think again the challenge for graduates coming out of university is to take the emphasis away from themselves and start looking at what it is that the company, the organisation, the business is trying to achieve, and what it wants to achieve from employing you. So the focus has got to be more on the employer than on yourself, and it's about that match that you're trying to get. Saying, well, if the organisation has got a particular need for a particular job and it's trying to go in a particular direction, how do I fit with that? What can I add from my experience that will help that organisation achieve that? Rather than saying, what's in it for me? I want to do this. I want to do that. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. The emphasis has got to be the other way around.
No, completely. One aspect that I know I struggled with personally after leaving university was it was quite a emotional roller coaster of the anticipation of applying for jobs, and then sometimes the rejection of not getting them when you built yourself up to it being the job that you really wanted. What range of emotions would graduates typically go through, and what can they do to mitigate these?
Yeah, it's going to be a really difficult thing leaving university. In fact, I've got 3 daughters, and 2 of them have been through university, and as soon as they came back after uni, it's quite a sort of difficult time, quite a destabilising time, because you've been surrounded by support and a peer network, and you know exactly what you're going to be doing, and you get into certain routines, etc. And then as soon as you leave university, you're quite often going to end up going back home, and that support network disappears and goes around the country doing different things, and you suddenly find yourself potentially quite isolated. A lot of your friends may have moved away, etc., whilst you've been away at university. So you're suddenly left with this sort of future ahead of you, and you need certain resilience, and you need a certain amount of self-motivation to start to act and to think in a different way. So shedding the mindset that you have at university of deadlines for assignments, going to the library, partying, and just looking after yourself, suddenly you have to start thinking about other people and working in a team potentially in organisations, and having to get quite pragmatic, and that can be quite a tough period of time. So taking action and being able to do things for yourself, so being quite resourceful is going to be really important when you come out of university. So it can be quite sort of a lonely period, I think, for quite a few graduates, and they often say they miss their friends and fellow students. And some people will come out thinking, I'm just going to walk into a job, and then find it's not quite what they thought. So that can lead to lowering of confidence. Some people go out with a lack of confidence in the first place because they're not quite sure where they're going and what they want to do. So it's really important to find support at that stage. So first of all, recognizing where you are in that little emotional journey you're on. Is it something that you're aware of, or is it something you need to get feedback on to find out exactly what's needed for you next? So for me, it's getting the right support around you, whatever way that may be. And that's where coaching can come in, but it could also be friends, family, going back to your career service, for example. It's a little known fact, I think, for a lot of students that quite often the career service will support a graduate for up to 3 years after they leave. Okay. And so people tend to think, I've left university, I don't, now what?